Good morning. Welcome to the Ventura Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Reverend Bonnie Rose, and it's great to see you all here today. Also welcoming the folks that are watching us on the live stream and later on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining us in this Cathedral of Kindness. I'm going to pass the word over to my friend and colleague, Lonnie, practitioner, board president, and wonderful person. There you go.
I don't know what to say after that.
Yeah.
How much do I owe you, Bonnie?
I don't know.
Okay. We'll settle up later.
Yeah.
It's so wonderful to see everyone back in the sanctuary, and you know, it is an extra cat herding morning. Kind of feeling that energy.
Did you want to say hat curding morning?
Hat herding.
Yeah.
Haddress. It must be Haddress.
Okay, there you go.
I don't know. But anyway, we're here, and it's just such a beautiful time to fellowship, and I think I should just end now because I can't say anything. So welcome, enjoy, and that's it.
Okay, all right. See you in a little bit. Thanks, Lonnie. Okay. Calling forth Bill Haddress, one of our youth and family folks.
Say good morning.
Good morning.
I'm Bill Haddress with Youth and Family. And let's start today by, if you'd like, close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath. And think of a time someone did something nice for you. Maybe brought you your favorite food, took you to a fun place, helped you when you were hurt or in need. Think about how that felt. Was it good? Now, think of a time you did something for someone else. Maybe made them a card, said hello with a smile. Maybe helped someone move. How did that feel? Were you excited, proud, or happy? You can open your eyes. Those feelings, those experiences were all experiences of love. Unconditional love is what we experience when we do something for others, just because it is the right thing to do. Or it makes someone else's experience better or happier. Caring for the life of another, person or being, without reward except the inner joy of love and good feelings, is an act of unconditional love. Today, Mother's Day, is our opportunity to celebrate and thank people in our lives who care for us by returning your own act of unconditional love. So to help set that intention today, I invite you to repeat after me. I radiate unconditional love all around me.
I radiate unconditional love all around me.
And so it is.
And so it is. Let's see, what's next? I believe our practitioner is coming up to the stage as I speak, ready to lead us in prayer. This is Vicki.
Good morning. Happy Mother's Day. Ministers, practitioners, thank you for praying with me. Breathing in, centering into our hearts and the love that is who we are. I know one life, one light, one love birthed this moment, birthed who we are in our presence into this amazing, wondrous world as it is. I know that this love and power I call God is everywhere, is in the acceptance that everything that is happening around the world and in the universe is part of the divine plan, and that love is all there is. And so knowing this, I breathe into this truth, and I feel so blessed to know that each one of us is gifted life. How humble and thankful I am to know that the work, the love, the reverence, the absolute nurturing, caring, tender devotion that brought us each here is what we're here to honor today, and that is motherhood. And so join with me in blessing all mothers and their partners in every expression. Mothers who have lost their children, mothers who are seeking partners to have children, mothers who are expecting children, all mothers, mothers of plants and animals and projects and churches. I give thanks, and join with me in giving thanks to our grandmother, this beautiful sanctuary of love, and our goddess mother, Reverend Bonnie Rose, who is the mother of animals and the mother of us, because mothering is birthing authenticity and joy and presence and truth. And we celebrate the truth of the beauty of this center and what it is, and our leaders here, those who serve with such self-fullness and selflessness. I give thanks for Reverend Bonnie Rose and for everyone here, for Tina Meeks, for the sound people, for all of us. For I know that in every moment we have a chance to love, to care, to give unconditional love. For motherhood is love. Knowing this, I know that the universe has it all covered, and I just need to say thank you. Yes, and release this prayer into the law. Knowing this, that it's perfect, whole, and complete, I release my prayer into love, and together we say, and so it is.
And so it is. And we rest in that beautiful space that Vicki brought us to with such grace and clarity. And we breathe in and we breathe out. And as we inhale and exhale, we open ourselves to the divine, to hear the word of love in our sacred reading.
The Lanyard by Billy Collins. The other day I was ricocheting slowly off the blue walls of this room, moving as if underwater, from typewriter to piano, from bookshelf to an envelope lying on the floor, when I found myself in the L section of the dictionary, where my eyes fell on the word lanyard. No cookie nibbled by a French novelist could send one into the past more suddenly. A past where I sat at a workbench at a camp by a deep Adirondack lake, learning how to braid long, thin plastic strips into a lanyard, a gift from my mother. I had never seen anyone use a lanyard, or wear one, if that's what you did with it. But that did not keep me from crossing strand over strand again and again until I made a boxy red and white lanyard for my mother. She gave me life and milk from her breasts, and I gave her a lanyard. She nursed me in many a sick room, lifted spoons of medicine to my lips, laid cold face cloths on my forehead, and then led me out into the airy light and taught me how to walk and swim, and I in turn presented her with a lanyard. Here are thousands of meals, she said, and here is clothing and a good education, and here is your lanyard, I replied, which I made with a little help from a counselor. Here is a breathing body and a beating heart, strong legs, bones and teeth, and 2 clear eyes to read the world, she whispered. And here, I said, is the lanyard I made at camp. And here I wish to say to her now is a smaller gift, not the worn truth that you can never repay your mother, but the rueful admission that when she took the 2-tone lanyard from my hand, I was as sure as a boy could be that this useless, worthless thing I wove out of boredom would be enough to make us even. Happy Mother's Day.
Resting in the divine I am, that we are. Let us bring that awareness of I am into our open-eyed state as we breathe in deeply. And then exhale, opening our eyes in love and in service to what is as it is. And so it is. Namaste.
It's difficult for me to stand and not say something on Mother's Day about my wonderful mother. When Hugh was up here, I call it, I don't know, he has a way of just bringing tears. Almost every time he stands, before he starts talking, I start crying. There's something about Hugh's voice and his energy. It's like he has a God presence, and it emanates from him. And when he talked about the lanyard, wow, how many of us relate? So this song is my lanyard. Every time you ask me to come and sing here on Mother's Day, I dedicate it to her, and I think of her and how much she loved the garden and what she gave to me so much. So let's just take a moment, so I can pull it together, okay? Yeah, I know. And one more tidbit. The first Sunday that I sang on Mother's Day was here. And when I bring my children on Mother's Day, I always take them to the place where we had a picnic and where we changed diapers under the big tree over there. It's just a pleasant, wonderful gift to be alive, to have a life given to you, and to be able to share it again. So, to all of you and to all of your mothers. Oh, it was a wonderful mother. I remember your mother. How old did your mother live to be? 90? Yes, 93. His mother. Oh, what an amazing woman. All right. I'm done, everybody. We'll do this. Had to get all that out. I come to the garden alone while the dew is still on the roses, and the voice I hear falling on my ear. The love of God discloses, and He walks with me, and He talks with me, and He tells me I am His own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. God speaks, and the sound of her voice is so sweet that the birds stop their singing, and the melody that she gave to me within my heart is ringing, and she walks with me, and she talks with me. God tells me I am her very own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever known. For God walks with me, and God talks with me, and God tells me I am God's very own, and the joy we share as we tarry there, none other has ever, none other will ever, none other will
Wow. Tina, Chris, thank you so much. My goodness. I don't know if any, yeah, beautiful. Thank you. I don't know how many of you saw Tina's kids today. We're not going to be changing any diapers anytime soon because they're like this tall now. And it just speaks to this long relationship that we've had with you, your family, Tina. What can I say? Oh, it's just so wonderful to have you here. So bless you. Well, as long as everybody's telling tearjerker stories about their mothers, I actually was planning on keeping it kind of light today. I asked the practitioners to pray for me because I struggle a little bit with Mother's Day because I don't have human children. I have, 30, 40 animal children and a church, whatever you want to make of that. But I mean, the animal children are separate than the church people, is what I'm trying to say. But, I was thinking about the idea that a lot of what we talk about here is planting seeds of kindness. And Bill, in his opening story about unconditional love, we talk about planting seeds of kindness and how the ripples carry on for generations and generations. And as Tina was singing, I thought about a ripple or a seed that was planted in me very early on, and it's a story about my mother. And this was something that happened when I was probably about 5 years old. And I didn't play with Barbie dolls like a lot of girls did, or even baby dolls very much. I had a skeleton named Bessie that my sister made clothes for, so I played with Bessie, and she was like a Barbie. She had a dream house and a convertible and all kinds of stuff, but she was Bessie the skeleton with a whole wardrobe. But I also, and she had wigs too, which was kind of sexy because, she was bald. So. But I also played with stuffed animals, and I really loved my stuffed animals, which was kind of a, foreshadowing of what the future would be like. And back when I was a child, we had one amusement park to choose from. Like now we have a bunch of Six Flags over every city in the world around the place, but we had one amusement park, and it was Playland in New York, in Rye, New York. It was actually featured in a movie where Glenn Close was a stalker, whatever that movie was. Anyway, we would make one yearly pilgrimage to Playland when I was a kid. And I had all these stuffed animals, and I promised my favorite one, named Snappy. He was a little dog. I promised Snappy that Snappy could come with me to Playland. It was a big hoopla in our family, and my mother drove myself and my 3 sisters, all 4 girls in our station wagon, down to Playland. And all of a sudden, we were about probably 10 minutes away, and I realized that I had left Snappy at home. And I started to cry, and my sisters were like, forget it, we're not going back. My mother turned around the car to get Snappy. And, I know that there may be psychologists in the room that question that. Or maybe not. I know when I told my therapist, he was kind of like, what? But that act of kindness stuck with me my whole life. It was a tiny, inconsequential moment that stuck with me my whole life and planted a seed of going the extra mile for a little girl who made a promise to a toy because it was important to me. And so I hope that I carry that with me into my grown-up relationships, into my ministry, into everything that I do. And it's just such an honor to remember that with all of you, my new family this morning. So thank you for listening. So I want to talk a little bit about Mother's Day, aside from my own personal experiences. Oh, giving just got easier. End of message. Okay. Nope. Still not working. Oh, there it is. Okay, everything's working. Okay, so thank you. Yay, tech team. Let's give them a round of applause. All righty. We have our regular tech guy is out today celebrating Mother's Day. So there you go. So Mother's Day has a complex history. Some of you know it, and I won't go into the whole thing, but it was started primarily by a woman named Anna Jarvis, and it was for peace and for recognizing the bond that mothers have, particularly with soldiers. Last night I received a message from somebody who lives in Ukraine, and she was asking us all to say a special prayer for the mothers who had to send their sons into war without being able to kiss them goodbye, and for the mothers that had to take their children and leave the country with very few possessions. So because of that and everything that's going on in the world, and perhaps even our personal histories, Mother's Day can be complicated. Some of us celebrate Mother's Day with great zeal and great fervor. Some of us had great mothers. Some of us had mothers that were challenging. Some of us are mothers and we love our kids. Some of us want to be mothers and we're not mothers. So there's complexity in it, but whatever we feel about Mother's Day, there is something about it that connects all of us. And that there's this concept of mother or birth or whatever that connects each of us. So in the spirit of that, I'd like to invite all of the people that are mothers of either humans or animals or plants to stand up. Would you stand up? And let's give you a round of applause. Thank you for that. Thank you. Okay, you can sit down if you want, but I'm going to ask everybody who has a mother to stand up. Has or had a mother. Everybody who was born of woman. Yes. So you see what I mean? It's all of us. It's all of us. Now, sit down again if you would. Okay. Now, one more thing. Anybody who has ever given birth to a new idea, please stand up. See, now you didn't know you were going to get an aerobic workout in church this morning, so that was the last stand up. And for those of you who didn't stand up, I know you have given birth to new ideas. So that's what I'm talking about when the concept of birth or mothering connects all of us, because we all are mothers to something. Now, in the spirit of some of the joy of Mother's Day, I decided to pick a few quotes that I thought might be helpful for you. One is, when your children are teenagers, it's important to have a dog so that someone in the house is happy to see you. Okay? So there's that. This is from Olivia Wilde. She said, "I just wanted to stay home and party with my son, and by party, I mean, of course, endless rounds of Itsy Bitsy Spider." Look at that. Everybody remember that song? Good, I don't have to sing it, okay? All right, and then this is from somebody else. He said, "My mother said to me, if you are a soldier, you will become a general. If you are a monk, you will become the Pope. Instead, I was a painter, and I became Picasso." Guess who wrote that? Whoa, 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 Picasso. So those are some great quotes from Mother's Day, but back into the perennial wisdom of Mother's Day. Perennial means that it's ongoing, that it pops up everywhere like perennial plants, right? Everything is born. That's the title of my talk today, is Everything is Born. Now, I think I heard this phrase from my husband, Hugh, when he wrote a one-man play and a book now called The Miracle of Existence, and he quoted somebody saying, "Everything is born." And what that means, it's really ancient truth, but it's also science of mind. It's so beautiful to me how the two link together so beautifully. Everything is born. It means that everything that happens, there's kind of a trilogy or a trinity in everything that happens. There's an idea that is met by something receptive, and then a new form is created by that. That's exactly what we teach in the science of mind. See that V up there? Doesn't stand for Ventura, does it? Nope. It's the science of mind symbol. And it can stand for whatever you want it to stand for, by the way. But anyway, it's the science of mind symbol that means that spirit imparts itself through that center layer, which is a creative matrix, and then some form, it comes out of that. And then it repeats again and again and again and again. It's an ongoing cycle. Very similar to what Richard Rohr, who is a Christian mystic, talks about. Richard Rohr and many, many other mystics, is that God itself, the infinite spirit, cast itself into the universe to create the world of form, and that spirit became matter so that matter could become spirit. Spirit incarnated itself through spiritual laws to become matter, and then matter returns to spirit. Also, from the Buddhist tradition, Brother Thich Nhat Hanh, he talks about the continuity of being. And that's why I've got a chicken and an egg there, because really, which is first? I ask you, which comes first? The chicken or the egg? What? What? The rooster. Well, thank you for that, Jonna. That is the male principle, absolutely exactly what we were talking about. But it's funny that you should mention that, because the chicken and the rooster and the egg are all one and the same, aren't they? You know, Thich Nhat Hanh, although he did not specifically mention the rooster, as Jonna did over here, that Thich Nhat Hanh mentions that when the chicken is born, is that really the start of the chicken's life? And it really isn't. because the chicken was forming itself inside its mother, inside the hen, right? And prior to that, the hen was growing up and eating what she needed to eat to be able to give birth. And prior to that, her ancestors were eating. So yes, there's something does come into being, but that thing that comes into being was being even when it was non-being, right? Does that make sense? You know that I'm weird, I'm very paradoxical, and I love this type of stuff, but it's just to help us understand that permanence and impermanence are part of this great sort of Mobius cycle where all is one, and we are all participating in birth and life and goodness and grace and the incarnation into being and form, moment by moment, breath by breath. Everything that we do is that. It's, I just sort of talked about the macrocosm, which is how spirit comes into form. But we are doing the same thing in the microcosm being in the smaller effect. I have the Star of David there because that to me seems like such a great symbol of macrocosm and microcosm. It's two triangles intersecting each other. One is the macrocosm creating form, and the other is the microcosm pointing upwards back to spirit, right? Spirit creating form, form going back to spirit. Same thing with the science of mind symbol. Again, this is the descent of spirit or the descent of an idea in the microcosm, going down through a creative matrix and making a form and then going back up again. Isn't that so cool? Isn't that so cool? How we relate to all these other religions? Well, I think it's cool. I don't know if y'all do, but I think it's really cool. Okay, so the divine gives birth to us so that we can give birth to the divine. Right? Isn't that wonderful? And get this, this is from Ernest Holmes. Within us is the unborn possibility of limitless experience. The unborn possibility of limitless experience. Can you feel that? Sometimes we often feel that there is a limitation to who we can be or what we can do with our lives, but there is the unborn possibility of limitless, again, I emphasize limitless experience. And ours is the privilege of giving birth to it. We get to give birth to this possibility that is within us. Every day can be Mother's Day for us as we give birth to the possibility within us. So I guess my question for you this morning, and I really would like you to think about this, is what limitless possibility, what limitless experience longs to be born within you? Usually, I recommend that people focus on qualities of spirit. You can certainly focus on specifics if you want, but focusing on qualities of spirit, God qualities such as love, joy, peace, happiness, all of those things, tends to give us more freedom, tends to give the law more freedom. I remember years ago I went to a practitioner, and my practitioner at the time that I was working with on a regular basis, and she was saying that sometimes when we are too specific in our prayer requests, we may get it eventually, but we limit the capacity of the law to work to its fullness because we're kind of trying to direct spiritual law into a specific form. And so I'm a big advocate of praying for spiritual qualities such as joy or abundance or peace or forgiveness or acceptance, kindness, grace, or the big kahuna, love. Right? Praying for those spiritual qualities and then allowing the form to manifest as it chooses to manifest through us, as Spirit knows the highest and best for our lives. So if I'm praying for greater love, let's say I'm seeking, love is not a good choice because I have a relationship. Let's say someone is seeking a relationship. One of my friends who was a colleague at my former church was seeking a relationship, and she was praying for love, and it needed to look like this, and the guy needed to have this quality, and this quality, and this quality, and this quality. And I said to her, why don't you just pray for love? Pray for love. Leave the rest up to Spirit. Leave the rest up to Spirit to allow love to take birth, to take form within you and your life can change in an instant. And it did. She walked into a church not of our denomination. She met a guy. They're married. And the last time I heard from her, it was on her wedding anniversary, 25th wedding anniversary, and she said something to the effect like, if I had known what I know about being married to you now, I wouldn't have walked down the aisle, I would have run down the aisle into your arms. So you see what happens when you let love or grace or kindness or harmony or peace or any of those things do what it wants to do? It frees us up so much, so beautifully, and we can have a better birth, a greater birth, a sweeter birth, something that is so much more magnificent than we can imagine. Because, I love this so much. I love this because we always talk about infinite possibilities in this spiritual center, right, in this denomination. And so often, through our minds, through what is known already, we're putting a cap on limitless possibilities, right? Because we're working with the known. If we open ourselves up into just love, which is an infinite principle, or just peace, or just joy, in whatever way it wants to show up, that rips the cap off of the possibilities, and greater possibilities beyond our imagination pour into our lives. So you're going to do that from now on, right? Hear me? Yeah, you heard it here. You heard it here. I'm going to be checking up on you to see. Never mind, I'm not. Okay, so let's see what this slide says. Oh, yes. So the way that we do that again is to believe in love, to believe in love, to believe in the principle of love, to know that trust and trust in love. Belief is emotion plus thought, and to feel the emotion of love, to feel the thought of love, and to believe in it and to feel it in ourselves, in our hearts, in our minds, in our beings. As we start to do that, it enters automatically into the creative medium, which some might call the soil, right? The creative medium, that which makes form happen, and then it becomes a form or expression of love. But again, we detach from the specific outcome of the form and allow ourselves to stand open to whatever way love wishes to reveal itself to us and through us, and by us, by the way. Check that out. What do you see there? It's butting heads. Two heads butting. Has anyone here ever butted heads with something or someone? Please, show of pinkies. Okay, or a hand if you're bold. Okay. As for those of you who maybe new here, we sometimes do a show of pinkies if you're shy about something. That way you can just do it privately. But I see that people are bold about affirming that they have butted heads with others from time to time. But you know what's good about butting heads? Whether you're butting heads with another person or whether you're butting heads with some obstacle that seems to be in your life, that is a prime act of love that is there for us to develop great insight into the knowing that obstacles equal opportunities. Obstacles are opportunities to go deeper and to look within ourselves and to see what role we are playing in the head butting, right? Get our big butts out of the way. And we get to look within and see what am I resisting? What am I pushing against? Somebody out there is really enjoying this talk. I feel very flattered. I don't know if you can hear the laughter outside the door. And just look within and see, like, what is it? How am I resisting what is longing to express through me? And celebrate the resistance as a gift. Embrace it, and then find the meaning by it, and then do the spiritual work around it that needs to be done, whether it's letting go or forgiveness or release or setting a firm and kind boundary, whatever it is. Every time we encounter an obstacle, it is an opportunity for greater insight. Another thing that we can do is we can pray the opposite of the obstacle. So if we're looking for love and kindness and we're experiencing rejection, that's just a stimulus to pray for greater love and greater kindness, right? Pray the opposite of the obstacle, right? Often we don't know what we're looking for, but we're experiencing an obstacle, and we can just say to ourselves, what is the word of error? What is this thing behind what I'm experiencing? And usually it's fear. So if we're experiencing fear, we just pray the opposite of fear, which is usually faith or love, right? Something to assist us as we go about our daily lives. This is a chicken, another chicken. Jonna, and sorry, and it's in an egg. And the reason I have this chicken up here is a story about why a chicken comes out of the egg. It doesn't come out because it's excited to greet the world. Really, the reason a chicken comes out of an egg is that it gets cramped and stinky inside of the egg, right? And the moral of this story is that if there's something in your life that feels cramped and stinky, show of hands if something in your life feels cramped and stinky. Okay, right, our pinkies, yeah. If something in your life feels cramped and stinky, that is, again, another invitation. It's an invitation to know that constraints are a call for greater creativity. And it's the same type of creativity I've been talking about all along. It's that creativity where we say, okay, what is this bringing up in me? Okay, this is bringing up fear in me. This is bringing up crampedness in me. This is bringing up stinkiness within me. I can change my consciousness. I can change my consciousness and have an awakening to something greater than this constraint, right? One of my greatest experiences about that was, I'll say this as a dog mom. Yeah, for those of you who don't know me, we have like a ridiculous amount of animals right now, and some of them are birds and fish, but the mammals have a strong presence in our life. Two dogs, 2 guinea pigs, a cat, and a very demanding 20-pound rabbit. So, but anyway, when we got our second dog, we'd had one dog for a long time, and we got a second dog, and we live in a small house with all of these critters. And I was thinking, you know what, we really need to move. We need spaciousness. So I'm going to start affirming spaciousness and see what form it takes. I'm going to practice what I preach for a change. No. And sorry, that just slipped out. And I mean, I'm on a spiritual path like everybody else. Okay. So I'm going to practice what I preach and affirm spaciousness. And I did. I affirmed spaciousness over and over again. And I was seeing real estate, and I was seeing mansions. And in my house, there are many mansions. And I was living in one of them with my feet up, watching television, clicking the remote. But anyway, I was in the midst of a prayer on spaciousness, and I had to go into the smallest room of my house, which would be the restroom. I went into the restroom. And lo and behold, the whole animal kingdom followed me in there, right? Does anybody have dogs or cats that follow you into the restroom? That is like their favorite place because mommy or daddy might be sitting down and there might be scratches involved. And I realized that no matter what spaciousness I called forth in my life, that spaciousness was a state of mind. Because wherever I lived, if I lived in one of Spirit's many mansions, wherever I was, the dogs would be, and the cat. And so I let go of the need for spaciousness in terms of a specific form and just cultivated spaciousness in my heart and my mind. And that, my friends, is using a constraint in a creative manner. Now, I have a question for you. How are you different from a chicken? This is a paradox beyond what. This is the greatest paradox I have ever spoken in this church, and you know that I love paradoxes, whatever the plural of paradox is. The greatest paradox is, how are you different than a chicken? A chicken is not chicken, not afraid, right? Somehow I thought that would be funnier, but maybe not. Okay. Okay. A chicken is not chicken. A chicken isn't afraid. A chicken doesn't judge himself for being in a constraint. A chicken doesn't judge herself for being trapped. A chicken doesn't judge himself for being in a stinky environment. A chicken just says, okay, I'm getting down here. I'm just going to pull it apart, and I'm going to step outside, and I'm going to be who I am, right? This is the moral of this story, people. We don't have to be chicken, okay? We can be more like a chicken by not being chicken. If we are trapped, if we're stuck, if we're feeling a constraint, if we're feeling a barrier, if we're feeling a limitation, we don't have to get all afraid and worked up about it. All we need to do is just say, oh my gosh, goodness, this is an opportunity. This is an opportunity. I can do something creative. I can pray the opposite of the problem. I can see this as an opportunity. Divine Spirit, we can even surrender. How about that? We can say, Divine Spirit, show me what is mine to do right here and right now in this condition that is being called forth for my growth and for my enlightenment. So that is a beautiful way to practice. And another word for practice is courage. We have the courage. We're not chicken anymore, right? We have the courage to look within. We practice mindfulness. And we question what is being born in me right now. Through the power of my thought, what is being born by this particular thought right now? Do I want the result of this thought? And if the answer is yes, great. If not, if I don't want the result of, say, all these thoughts of fear that I'm having, then change the thought and then rinse and repeat. And the most important time to rinse and repeat is when you don't want to. Okay? And I ain't talking about shampoo here. I'm talking about our thoughts, right? Rinse and repeat. Continue to hold, gently hold, surrender to the greater thought, even when you don't want to. One thing that might help, do we really believe this? You know, we say we do. Do we really believe this? Are there exceptions to this? Just imagine that your next thought is giving birth to your reality. I know many times I call upon myself to say, I'm thinking this way and my reality may not be as great as I want it to be because I'm thinking this way, but yeah, this is the exception. I can have this really horrible thought, right? You too? Okay. Yeah, I can have this horrible thought. It doesn't apply to me in this moment, right? But imagine your next thought is giving birth to a reality, and then ask yourself, do you still want to think that thought? We really get that our thoughts create our experience, the quality of our lives. The quality of our thoughts create the quality of our lives. And we ask ourselves, okay, this thought is giving birth to an experience of my life. Do I still want to think that thought? And if not, how about if I think a better thought? Are you willing to think a better thought? If you are, then the work is to find it. We don't have to go from 0 to 100 in a moment. We can just say, I am willing to think a better thought, right? Okay? How about this thought? I am giving birth to a great life right now. Will you repeat after me? I am giving birth to a great life right now, right? Through the power of our thoughts, we are giving birth to a great life. And I'm going to redefine greatness for us, okay? For many, many years, I believe, and I don't think it's true anymore, but I believe that this teaching was very much about seeking greater matter, right? That's a quote from Brother Joel Goldsmith. We are not seeking greater matter. We are seeking greater consciousness. We are seeking greater love. We are seeking greater kindness. We are seeking greater heartfulness, right? We are not seeking greater matter. And so redefining greatness means that we don't have to have every single material possession that we're craving that we think is going to fix our lives. Redefining greatness is much more like what we heard about in the reading and in the song from Tina. Greatness is the act of sincerity where a little boy creates a lanyard and hands it to his mother. Greatness is also a story that I read yesterday when I was looking up Mother's Day stories, where this woman woke up on Mother's Day and her husband was there, and her husband somehow used to get her a cup of coffee every morning, and he forgot that morning on Mother's Day. Oh, okay. But she had a sense of humor about it, and she was teasing him, and she said, honey, you forgot my coffee on Mother's Day. And unbeknownst to the couple, their little 5-year-old boy, went downstairs, took some coffee grounds. I'm going to assume he opened up like a Keurig pouch, those things, poured it into a cup, poured lukewarm water on it, stirred it, brought it to his mother, and she drank it. But she said it was the sweetest cup of coffee she had ever had. That's what I'm talking about, folks. That's redefining greatness. What is the deepest, sweetest, most vulnerable, most surrendered, most beautiful, most precious version of your life that you could call up? Your sincere offering, whatever it is. Remember I said that the divine gives birth to us, and then we give birth to the divine? Your sincere birthfulness, your sincere offering to the divine, your sharing your light and your life, if it's sincere, it will be precious, it will be priceless, and it will be immeasurable. That's what I hold for all of us this morning on this very, very sacred day where we're celebrating mothers and giving birth. So in the spirit of these 3 words, precious, priceless, immeasurable, I invite you to place your hands over your heart and know that you are precious, priceless, and immeasurable, and then say softly, I am giving birth to a great life right now. Let's say it one more time. I am giving birth to a great life right now. One more time, a little bit louder, feeling your preciousness. I am giving birth to a great life right now, and so it is. Let us pray. So I just turn within with all this grace and all this power in this room. How beautiful it is to feel the essence of the divine here. That divine that is perfect love, perfect happiness, perfect peace, perfect tenderness, perfect nurturing. And I embody these qualities as I speak these words, knowing that these words are true, that these qualities of spirit are true for me, as they are true for every single person sitting in this room, every single person that we hold in our hearts. These spirit words are the substance of the universe. And how wonderful it is to get to play in this cosmos with all of this power, all of this grace, and all of this love. And so in that spirit, I speak a word of truth for each of us today. knowing that each of us have been transformed from the inside out through everything that has happened here this morning, through the community, through the music, through the reading, through the people working quietly behind the scenes, through the spoken word, through the joy and through the love. And I know that lives unfold in unexpected, perfect possibilities that come into being as we surrender to the greater yet to be that longs to give birth to itself through us. Trusting that the divine has given birth to us so that we may give birth to divine, I open my heart for all of us to that greater expression of beautiful possibilities, of beautiful grace, of beautiful love, of beautiful kindness in ways beyond what we can even imagine. I ask us to hold together the idea that this is a great life, that this is a wonderful life, and that we get to expand in our capacity to see it and receive it and believe it and be it. Today I celebrate all mothers everywhere. I celebrate all beings that love. And I give thanks. I give thanks for this time together, this sacred, beautiful time where we have connected in heart, mind, and being, and soul, and spirit, where we take these words and turn them into action. I give thanks for that as well. I give thanks for all of the transformation that has occurred. Even if it may seem small, I know that in spirit there is no small, there is no large. And I give thanks for this teaching. I give thanks for this beautiful teaching. All paths to God, churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, fundamentalists, atheists, agnostics, all beings everywhere. For every being is a blessing. And with a heart that is so filled with love and gratitude, I say thank you, Spirit, thank you, love, and I release these words into the divine mystery. And together we say, and so it is. Namaste. Hello.
Hello. I just want to give it up to the slideshow.
I know.
It was beautiful this morning.
Thank you, boys. Yeah, thanks so much.
It feels like many things are similar and different all at the same time.
Yes, absolutely.
Today. And thank you, Tina, for being here. Mm-hmm. We really have created a spiritual family. And for those of you that are joining us, we welcome you. Mm-hmm. And my lanyard for my mom was the Bisquick coffee cake. Yep. And little did I know that it would set the intention that I can't cook anything that has more than 5 ingredients. And in that, we realized that when you set your intention of a gift, that it doesn't matter if others see it as a lanyard, that it comes from your heart, and that it means the world to the person that's receiving it. And so this morning, in that spaciousness of generosity and kindness and joy and love, I invite you to see your offering as a divine gift, that it is a golden lanyard.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So I invite you to place your offering over your heart and repeat after me. We trust in spirit.
We trust in spirit.
Love is a giver and receiver of all that we are.
Love is the giver and receiver of all that we are.
We offer this gift.
We offer this gift.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
It is an outer expression of our inner abundance and compassion.
Our gifts bless many.
Our gifts bless many.
And return to us multiplied in miraculous ways.
And return to us multiplied in miraculous ways.
So that we may give again.
So that we may give again.
And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Lonnie. Thank you, everyone.
It's very clear our love is here to stay, not for a year, but forever and a day. The radio and the telephone and the movies that we all know may just be passing fancies, and in time they go. But oh, my dear, our love is here to stay. Together we're going a long, long way. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble, they're only made of clay. But our love is here to stay. Let's give Chris a little time here. In time the Rockies may crumble, Gibraltar may tumble. You made that happen. They're only made of clay. But sing it with me. Our love is here to, let's do it 3 times. Our love is here to, our love is here to stay. Love.
For now. So again, happy Mother's Day. Rich blessings to all of you. Let us pray. Turn within and trust to know that this has been a great time together, that we are so blessed to be together as a spiritual community, whether here in person, here in heart, here in mind, here on YouTube, here on Zoom, wherever we are, God is there. And so I simply celebrate the power and presence of God that has shown up in each of us. I celebrate also the blessings that continue to ripple forth through us, from us, and to us from this sacred time that we have spent together celebrating the One. And so with a heart that is so filled with love and gratitude, I say thank you, Spirit, thank you, love, thank you so much for bringing us together. Thank you for our transformation and for our transformation of ourselves and also the cosmos. Together, let us know that we are one, and in that oneness, we release these powerful words into the mystery, into the sacred, and we surrender to the divine, as together we say, and so it is.